Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Furu Finance. We have a great stream for you guys today. Great stream, a lot to talk about because there's always a lot to talk about because we could talk about anything, but not much news, not much content being put out because we're in a bear market. That's part of being in a bear market, not having not much news and not having much crazy price action. We did, in the last stream, have some nice upward price action, a nice pump that gave people some semblance of hope, and the price has definitely pulled back a little since then. I wouldn't say dumped. We're still well above the local low. I think we're over 30% above the local low. And we're holding above that. But I did say that we needed volume, and that's not like my thing that I came up with. I mean, everyone knows that. And there wasn't much volume, so the pump wasn't sustained. But the question is really, and this is the main story, is is the bottom in, or are we going to make another local low? So we're going to be talking about that during today's stream. We're also going to look at the other charts. We're going to look at the numbers. We're going to be answering your questions. So be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I know I said earlier that I might be able to get hold of a lawyer that has experience with securities and get her take on the SEC investigation into the Richard Hart lawsuit. But unfortunately, that fell through. Very nice person, but it fell through for various reasons. But I will be doing some research into that, and probably next show we're going to be talking about the lawsuit and what we could be expecting over these next couple of months. And we're definitely going to be discussing that in depth during the Patreon meeting this Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern. So get in the Patreon if you're not there. But yeah, there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of knowns. It's a very novel territory as far as regulation and things like that. So it's going to be an exciting topic to cover. It's definitely going to be an exciting topic to cover, and you're going to want to be liked and subscribed. So please do that. What's going on in the chat? Academaciated. Good afternoon, Academaciated. Chad Donnerschwanz. He likes subbed belly button and alt. Big shout out to Chad Donnerschwanz. Mike Go. What's going on, Mike Go? Mike Go is a patron, so we appreciate your support. And just a reminder that you too could become a patron. Link is in the description. We have all sorts of good stuff in the Patreon and more to come. Hex Freedom says, I mean, if Bitcoin heads down to 20K next month, Pulse will see a new low. Not necessarily, but maybe. We'll talk about that. There was a decorrelation. When the SEC lawsuit dropped and there was a major dump in the charts, I think Bitcoin was even up a little bit then. So there is a decorrelation. We're seeing a decorrelation play out. So maybe there could be even decorrelation to the upside. Just like there was decorrelation to the downside, maybe there will be decorrelation to the upside. It's going to depend on a bunch of stuff. But another thing to keep in mind is that Bitcoin is down like 70% right now, or 65%. 60%. I don't know what it is exactly. But Hex is down 99%. So that could mean that maybe it's so oversold that even a Bitcoin dump will not affect the price. But all bets are off, okay? All bets are off. Oh man, are you guys enjoying this wonderful bear market we're in? Well, I am. And yesterday I touched graphs. got outside for the first time in a while, so that was nice. But yeah, we got GoPulse.com. If we look at the percentage changes, we have at this current moment, Hex is excuse me, everything is up except for INC, which is down 0.81. But PulseX is up the most. PulseX has been the biggest gainer throughout the past couple of days. And if you'd ask me, it's due to the reflexivity. And certainly from sacrifice, PulseX is probably going to do the worst. The question is whether or not from this point, PulseX will do the best. And I think that's possible, but I'd still have to go with Hex 1, Pulse 2, PulseX 3, and INC 4. But it depends who you ask. Right now it's up 0.76, 444 billion PLSX burned. Nice to see that working. Pulse is up 0.35 and Hex is up 0.12. It's actually up the least, which is quite interesting. But no major price action. But that's it for the stats. Brazology says INC is up. It was 97 cents a few days ago. Now at $1.17. That's a 20% gain. True. INC is up. It is definitely up. But we got the Hex daily stats. Hex added 3 stakers, changing current stakers positive 3, and negative change in holders. So after, how long was it? After 14 consecutive days of increases in holders, there's finally a net decrease of minus 12. But that's crazy. 14 consecutive days of new wallets participating in Hex, often in every single day, pretty much in double digits, with the exception of 2 for 2 weeks straight. That's pretty impressive. Great indicator, in my opinion. But for the first time, we had negative 12. So that doesn't even cancel the 36 we had added yesterday. It's only a third. Only cancels out a third of the onboards yesterday. So pretty incredible. There was a net increase in stakers. The net increase in stakers, I remember during the bull market, like the change in current stakers was often as much or more than the change in current holders. But staking, people have really lost faith in staking. I think a lot of it is just the negative price action, and a lot of it is the Richard Hart absence. Not absence, but stream camera absence, okay? The Richard Hart camera absence. Like, people are really not sold on the 15-year stakes anymore. People are not even sold on like 5-year stakes. And I remember when the sentiment, it really started changing maybe when we had Corey Geary and Dane. They sort of were having a little bit buyer's remorse, or you could say staker's remorse. And they're not the only ones. And they're entitled to their opinion. But I do think that everybody that is buying, even if they're not believers in staking, they don't want to stake for 5, 10, 15 years. They do believe we're coming back for another cycle. And by coming back, I mean higher high. So let's say it's $1 at the top of the bull market. Conservative estimate, $1, only like 120x from, no, that would be like about 180x, 185x from the local low, the bear market low. That means it's coming back over two, which is a lot. That means it's coming back over two bull markets. And the longer it's around, the longer it's going to stay around, the bigger and more vibrant the community becomes. So, I mean, at that point, you know, it's probably going to be around for 7 years. And then if it's around for 7 years, it's probably going to be around for 14, 15 years. So I think that I do believe in the continuity of the protocol, and I do strongly believe in, and therefore I strongly believe in the staking mechanism, and I'm still a staker. I'm accumulating HEX, and I'm making a totally new staking ladder, which I discuss in depth in the Patreon. But I do want to make a totally new staking ladder because so many of my stakes that were worth so much are not really worth that much anymore. So now I could really make a new staking ladder with that much more much more T-shares, which is really good. And I think it's going to be worthwhile in the long run. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Oh, are you guys staking for 15 years? I haven't heard a 5555 in a very, very long time. Let's just say that. I haven't. Do you guys remember the word 5555? There was the 555 tour. There was the 555 stake it till you make it. There was the, like, all these Anon accounts have like 555 in it. It's not about the HEX. It's about the T-shares. There was all that, and now it's really gone. But that's your bear market for you. Welcome to the bear market. Welcome to the big leagues. That's what we're seeing now. But so I like to say that this is a great indicator. The new stakers and new holders, but obviously the same indicator applies to Ethereum. And we're losing stakers every day. This is the first time in 13 days, so about 2 weeks, that there wasn't a net decrease in stakers. Lost 10 holders today. Barely gaining holders, very often losing holders. You know, just 12 days ago, there was a net decrease, 303. So I maintain my position. I strongly hold my position that I don't believe there's a future for HEX on Ethereum. At least in comparison to HEX on PulseChain, meaning maybe you'll get some gains, maybe it'll make a higher high. Honestly, I doubt it will, but maybe it is some sort of play somehow. But I think PulseChain is the place to go. So that's what I'd say about that. But that's it for your HEX daily stats. What are you guys saying in the chat? Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. What's up, Metastang, by the way? Metastang is a patron. Big shout out to him. Mixed Crypto Arts, what's up? Reggie Bone says Bitcoin hasn't bottomed yet. Wow. Bitcoin hasn't bottomed. From the top of the bull market to the bottom of the bull market, based on previous cycles, has always been around a year. Never much more than a year. This would be the longest top to bottom. And the price is right now like 26,500. So it's up like 40% from its local low. There's been constant bad news, constant bearish news with pretty much zero sell-offs and even massive run-ups. So I don't know why you say that. Unless you're like a believer in the 11K and pray, I don't think so. I haven't heard Richard Hart tweet about 11K and pray for a while, so I don't even think he's a big believer in 11K at this point. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll remember. Maybe I'll remember if you were right, and I will definitely give you credit. Brazology's got 5555 stakes, and Franklin. What's going on, Franklin? He's got 5555 stakes. Mount Gox not selling Bitcoin till next year. Oh yeah, I did hear about that. Mount Gox was supposed to sell Bitcoin like 4 years ago. So I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Yeah, that was the major thing that Richard Hart was saying, is that like Mount Gox still didn't sell their Bitcoin, and that's when we could say that the bear market's over. That's when we could say Bitcoin is bottom, but we still have 11K in prey because Mount Gox didn't sell. Well, according to the cycles, Mount Gox isn't selling until we're well into a bull market anyway, but it's probably going to be pushed off from then. So I don't believe in the Mount Gox thing anymore. I don't think it's going to matter. Crispy Man says, not for me and my followers. Crispy Man, that is true. Crispy Man has been the exception. He has not shied away or not stopped talking about the 5555 and the staking and the T shares. Probably no one's contributed more to the T shares and staking side of things than Crispy Man of hexfire.io, which brings you all the data on hex and staking. So big shout out to Crispy Man. I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. The Wage says it's not time to be watching. We enter in Q4. Prepare, accumulate. Not much time left. Everything's super cheap. No demand. Best buy signal. True. Rizology says couldn't imagine $1. I feel bad for those not staking. I look at mine and imagine them at 25 or 50 cents, and I smile real big. Oh, that would be nice. Imagine 25 cents. Remember the first dip? The first dip, like after the blow off top, Hex touched like 20 cents, and Richard's like, yeah, it went. The crash went to the top, went to the bottom is measured at the previous top. So it was like we hit 20 cents and now we're ready to go back up again, you know? Just another one of the 90 whatever. Just another one. It wasn't 90%. Just another one of the dips. That dips are part of the game. Everyone thought like just another one. We're going right back up. Now we're at like under a penny. 10 cents would look amazing right now. Imagine your staking ladders at 10 cents. What's up, Ash? Binance is going to be tough. What's up, Stefan? Dynamic Soul says Bitcoin is bottom. Jay Belize says, do you think we can reach half a penny for PulseChain? Welcome to the stream, Jay Belize. Hope you're liked and subscribed. But I absolutely think so. I think it could reach 1 penny even. And I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. Not financial advice, but definitely think you could reach half a penny. I think you could reach $1. Maybe not this cycle, but in the long run. And definitely like and share right now. Metasting says, how's the job? Well, the job was a part-time job, and it's no longer. I'm looking for like a full-time job. It was more like a, what do you call it? It was more like a freelance thing, freelancing. But definitely looking for a full-time job now. it's a tough jobs market, and that a lot of people are using that as an indicator that we're going to enter a recession. You have inflation, which is stubborn lately. Like, it was always going down, but it's had a little pull up, not a pull back, because we're trying to go down, but we're at like 3.8. There is no Fed rate hike this month, but there is going to be one before the end of the year, probably. So that's going to be even higher rates. Yeah. I mean, the jobs market, that's easy, is probably like lower paying jobs, but like high paying jobs are very, very difficult to find these days. Ash says, did you see that video recently showing how Richard Hart or whomever owns the SAC wallet address controls roughly 15% of all DAI, and how much impact that could have on DeFi? I saw Sami tweeted about that, because like Binance was raising concerns, right? Binance was raising concerns about Richard Hart, the alleged scammer, owning all the DAI. I did see that, and there was an increase, because I think he swing traded on the when Silvergate Bank went under, and there was a question on whether or not the USDC was going to depeg. Maybe traded that DAI for USDC, which was like at a 10% discount, and then traded it back once it repegged or something. So I did see that. But yeah, that money has not moved. Freelancing, is that what you selling? Yeah, sure. Oh man, I wish it were that easy, right? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, there was one tab I wanted to go over also, which was the PulseChain scan thing, the PulseChain scan.com, the block explorer. If you look at the activity on just the 18th, there were 811,356 transactions. That is a lot of activity. You're talking about this sort of activity and transactions per day happening on an L1, despite there being very few ways to on-ramp. Despite not having really a seamless on-ramp. There was OKX, and that's gone. And despite OKX delisting PulseChain, so making it like the only way to on-ramp is like through a bridge, pretty much, or a very fringe exchange, there was an all-time high. The blockchain has had more activity due to the more activity on it, despite having less on-ramps. What does that tell you? I mean, activity leads to price action, you know? That means people are buying PLS, people are using the chain. That leads to positive price action. You want to see adoption. And a lot of this, I have to say, was thanks to the meme coin people, which I'm not a fan of, okay? They might be nice people, but I'm not a fan of chasing meme coins. But it has increased trading volume and transactions. We have a vibrant meme coin community on PulseChain. If you guys haven't realized, there was even the People's Court. There was the People's Court for some people that were talking badly about it. Yeah, we love our meme coiners on PulseChain, but that was very bullish. Okay, I'm saying that this is very bullish. The positive indicators are there. You just got to open your eyes. Okay, that's really what it is. Changing current holders, change in current stakers, new wallets. There's also increased transaction volume, increased projects building, even though like a lot of these projects building on PulseChain are like total scams, but there's activity. People go where there's activity, builders, and more importantly, buyers. Changes in that. That's just some very bullish stuff. Okay. More transactions also leads to more buy and burn. 444 billion Pulse X bought and burned. So this is just really good stuff. Really good news. So there's a divergence. You have exchange delisting, right? Exchange delisting. That's OKX. And then you have, despite the largest exchange delisting PulseChain, you have increase in transactions per day. All-time highest transactions per day. 14 consecutive days of adding new wallets. So I don't know. What do you guys think? A lot of it, there is this sort of Damocles of additional charges to Richard Hart, and there is the uncertainty of how the SEC case will unfold, which we're going to be discussing in depth in the next show probably, and in the Patreon meeting this Sunday. You guys got to get in the Patreon. So there is that, but yeah, there's a lot of positives to look at. You guys should not be so doom and gloom. But yeah, let's get into what do you guys are saying? Fear it's violated, Havid. Having inevitable true. We are low liquidity. True. Pumps are going to be higher. Big chat. What's going on, Metopian? What's up? Ash says, for me, big shout out to Ash, regular viewer, mod, and OG. So big shout out to Ash. You could follow him on Twitter. Could you drop your Twitter handle in the comment section, because you're a mod? Very active on Twitter too. For me, it feels like that time period months before May 2020 halving, where we just had brief pumps here and there and mostly sideways. Yeah. So yeah, let's get into the charts a little bit. Let's take a look at the charts to see if there's a bottom. Yeah, that's your HEX chart. Confirmed breakout of the triangle. And we are now having sustained price action above the formerly resistance, right? Confirmed resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. Sort of here. It's like 6. And now we have officially broken out of it. And we're staying sideways above that breakout. Not much volume, but we are staying sideways above that breakout. Now, you look here, you see a potential trend reversal where you have a low and then a higher low, but it's not guaranteed at all. These things aren't guaranteed. Look here, you had a low, and then you could have said, look, higher low, we're going parabolic, and then bull flag, right? Bull flag? Is that a bull flag? It's like a bull flag, no? Bull flag? Bull flag, breakout inevitable. And then maybe it really was meant to be a bull flag, but then you had SEC, Richard Hart, quiet. Okay. Relief rally, more SEC FUD. Okay. Yeah. So I think we're seeing very low volume. We're seeing sideways action. We're seeing low volatility, I guess, therefore, for crypto standards. So a lot of things that you want to see when there's a bottom. The only thing I'd say is that I did call the Bitcoin bottom, like in the teens. I did call the Bitcoin bottom. Not on the day, but I did say like Bitcoin's bottomed. I've been saying it for a long time, and it seems like more and more people are coming to the realization of that. So like what is the indicator that you want to see that there's a bottom? Well, one was the 4-year cycle, right? So based on the 4-year cycle, it should be about a year from the top. So a year and like maybe 1-2 months already passed, which was already indicative that it's very likely there's a bottom based on the time frame. But even more so, the biggest indicator was that there was bad news coming out. There was like Voyager going bankrupt. There was some bad news with the Celsius court case. You know, people weren't getting their money back. There was more. There was the Bankman-Fried arrest. There was SEC opening investigations into Coinbase and Binance. There was just a lot of bad news. But despite the bad news, the price didn't go down. Like, in fact, you'd see pumps happening. Like, the price would actually, there would be relief rallies on the bad news. So what does that tell you? That tells you that all the sellers have been exhausted. That tells you that, you know, people that otherwise would have sold on the news are not selling because they already sold on previous bad news. So what's left is the hardcore hodlers, the people that they don't care how bad the news is. They don't care about the rate hikes. They don't care about inflation. They don't care about, you know, China banning Bitcoin. They just don't care. And they're going to not only hold, but continue to accumulate and buy the dip. I mean, that's why it's important to have a community, because that's what happens. So what you'd want to see for Hex and Pulsechain is bad news drop and the price not drop. That's what you'd want to see. That would be like very good confirmation of the bottom. You know, and maybe price not only not drop, but price pump. The problem is that there really isn't any news. I mean, the last time there was bad news, there was a massive dump. But that could have been the final washout. We have to see more bad news and see how the price reacts to really get a good idea of really like what's going on, whether or not the bottom happens. Like, let's say there be more charges, or I don't know, something bad, and the price pumps, or maybe let's say there'd be broader crypto bad news, you know, and Bitcoin goes down to like 11K and pray, you know, the prophecy comes true. Our guy Reggie Bone is right, and Bitcoin goes to 11K and Hex is still above that half a penny. I mean, that could be very indicative. The problem is that hasn't happened yet. So yeah, I mean, that's really what's going on. But what you could argue, though, is that everything's bad news. Like, bad news is happening because, like, Richard has still not streamed. So, like, that's bad news. Like, every day that Richard is not streaming is bad news. You know, there's no good news. So, like, that's bad news. And the price is down like 99%. So you could say that despite all that, the community's still here. The price is still not dumping massively. You could say that could be the bottom indicator. I don't know. If you look at previous cycles, Bitcoin bottoming doesn't mean altcoins bottom. Altcoins really continue to bleed until like maybe a little bit before the Bitcoin halving. Then they start to run up a little bit. They don't run up. They lose dominance maybe, but against Bitcoin, they bleed against Bitcoin, but they still go up against the US dollar. So you could say that just because Bitcoin and Ethereum bottomed, which I think they did, doesn't mean that Hex and Pulsechain did. Like, even Cardano is bleeding against its local low, or until very recently was. So The point is I think we really need to wait until the Bitcoin halving. We need to wait until other altcoins start making their moves, and then we see what Hex does. I mean, that's when you could start sounding the alarms when altcoin season happens and there's stagnation in the Hex price or even downside. But I think that's very doubtful. I think we're going to have massive run-ups, and I think we're going to surpass all-time highs. Very likely. Just looking at all my indicators that we talked about previously. But is the bottom in? There's a very good chance. I think there's a very good chance, and I think it's certainly a great time to dollar cost average and accumulate. And I'm in it until Q1 2024 at least. So this is what we got to do. Okay, I'm saying this is what we got to do. This is how you got it. This is the kind of stuff that you need to do in crypto in order to make it and get rich. You want to be like those Hex OGs. Well, maybe now some of them are wrecked, but like those Hex OGs were in 2021. Hex flexing, you want to be like that. This is the kind of stuff you got to endure to have that chance of it. I mean, that just is what it is. That just is what it is. So that's why we're here, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. But yeah, smash the like button and subscribe. Definitely very good chance we're at the bottom. I think if no more bad news hits us or bad news hits and the price pumps, we could be at the bottom, because I don't know who's still holding on. I don't know who's still like holding on and thinking, oh, if some more bad stuff happens, we're selling. Like, even the people that are like most frustrated with Richard Hart's behavior and most frustrated with how the ecosystem has been performing, they're like still accumulating. They're still not selling, and they're still accumulating. Like, let that sink in. Like Brandon B, who I love, by the way, and who's actually a good friend of the stream. I wanted to have him on, but he's busy working, which is good. He's got a 9 to 5. He for all his frustration, he's still here. He's still accumulating, and he's still bullish. Okay, like he's gonna sell when another bad? I doubt it. There's nothing more to sell, man. So I think there's definitely good indication of the price being bottomed, but it's no guarantee. I would side on that it has bottomed, but I don't know. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Okay? We're here every day at 12 p.m. Eastern time. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat section. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. It seems like we're in this bear market, and we're going to be in this bear market forever. But bear markets don't last forever. Okay? They end. We're going to make it. Bear markets don't last forever. And the people that buy when they seem like they're going to last forever are the people that really benefit the most. Okay? So smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. But I do see a lot of people are capitulating. Silvertooth capitulated, believe it or not. So, yeah, untangling these headphones. Oh, Ash says, workout day for me. You guys out there pounding the pavement? ? Polska says, Richard Hart is thinking 5 moves forward. He will come back and help us all, and help all of us. Richard Hart not streaming. Why? Because if he will start again streaming, then whole ecosystem will go crazy. TTM. Simple strategy. I think he's not streaming because of the SEC. If you'd ask me, if you look at how things unfolded, there was the SEC investigation, into influencers that were promoting Hex. They were getting their letters and stuff like that. And then pretty much shortly after that, Richard stopped streaming. Like, he made the statement during the Hex conference with Matty Allen, and then he went silent. Why is that? Likely because he saw this coming. You know, he saw the investigations going into the streamers. They're probably trying to go after, they're probably going after the little fish to try to get to the big fish, because that's what they do. And he's like, you know, ongoing investigation, everything that you say is going to get held against you. No, I'm not going to talk publicly. And if you'd ask legal experts, they'd probably say that is a good idea, but consult your own lawyer. But generally, lawyers say not to do that. So it does tell you that he is approaching this in a very smart and calculated way. Which means, I guess, yeah, he could be 5 moves forward, but we'll have to see. He's also trying not to get subpoenaed now. People argue whether that's a good idea or not, but that is another thing that he's doing. Bitfinesse says, and what's going on, Bitfinesse? What's going on? It seems you can only lose money if you sell for less than you bought. You may not be able to determine price, but you can sure as hell determine if you sell or hold. Locking in losses is foolish. Yeah. If we all decide collectively that we are not going to sell and we're only going to buy, then the price can only go up. If we as a collective, that's how crypto goes up. The community as a collective decides that they're not going to sell and they're only going to buy. And more so was increasing productivity. So you see what's happening where people like Brandon B and people like myself are getting jobs, and we're using that money to accumulate. So, I mean, a lot of people retired early, you know, thinking they're never going to have to work again, and they were only selling. I mean, they were living off the liquidity for Hex, but now the price has gone down, and they're realizing that they're going to have to go back to work. So as a lot of these people that got in early are getting jobs and increasing productivity and accumulating, I think that's really what could bring the bottom in. Because I don't think the bottom will come in, if the bottom hasn't come in already, but I don't think the bottom is going to come in from new money, just because there's no money. Liquidity is thin. Talk to like people out there. Talk to like people out there that, you know, are looking for investors into their company. I've spoken to a few. No one like major, but like people that, you know, they have businesses and they're looking for investors. They can't find anyone. Like they can't, because like people aren't throwing money around these days. It's very hard. And another thing is like the real estate market is hanging in by a thread. Like you look at the real estate market, there are a lot of landlords that bought a lot of property at 0 interest rates and were operating on thin margins. They're literally living off bridge loans, hoping that they could sustain until the rates go down again, you know, and if it doesn't go down, they're going to have to liquidate. They're going to have to sell their property. So, I mean, that tells you, hopefully the Fed is taking that into account and hopefully the rates will come down. But yeah, that tells you that it's hard to get new money. I think an increase in productivity and an increase in productivity and therefore more money coming in from the community itself, less people living off the liquidity, I think that's what makes the bottom. The top is going to be made by new money coming in, and I think a lot of new money is going to come in when the bull market comes in. That's my take. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I hope that made sense. Franklin says, Furu, what were you doing for freelancer? Well, somebody, friend of mine, owns a hedge fund, so I was helping him with social media, you know, building a website, things that I've been through. I was able to use my experience to monetize it, but, you know, that's what I was doing. Nice. Village Watcher says, I dumped some Pulse in all my PulseX a month after launch, but happily rebuying my position. Just feel like now's the time to take advantage of deals. Well, congratulations. Congratulations to you. You were probably very happy with your bag. It's interesting also because Silvertooth, dumped, and everyone's like, Silvertooth dumped, and everyone's like, you're crazy. It's obvious, like PulseChain launch, we're only going up. And he thought that there'd be 11K Bitcoin, which he was wrong about, but he was right that there'd be more downside. He was actually right. For once, he was on the money. Like we all gave him heat because he has been wrong. A lot of his price calls were wrong. I think he was calling for a bull flag at the top of the hex, like 56 cents. But he was right this time. And the second the SEC shoe dropped and like everything was just flushing, he gets on his camera and releases a live stream saying, I just put all my money back in. So I thought, like, yeah, congratulations. But the thing is now he's out. I mean, I think he sold his bags. We don't know. It's not confirmed, but I don't know. So, like, hope you're not doing what Silvertooth did, but congratulations. Good trade. Respect. Ash says, did the hedge fund friend get some PulseX and Hex? Hell no. These people are not touching that. These people aren't even touching Bitcoin, most of them, let alone, Hex. Oh. Franklin says, I personally think Hexagons should use AI to pump their bags. We could be a community that gets ahead on marketing. Yeah, there is a lot of AI. There is a lot of AI. He uses it well. Money Gain Crypto. He uses it for his thumbnails. I should use AI for my thumbnails, but yeah. I hope so. That would be nice. Maybe maybe if I make such good returns, I'll invest in his hedge fund. He's a very smart guy. Cody Poly 68 says, swapped a substantial amount of Bitcoin for HEX last September at 50 cents at half a penny. Wrecked, but haven't sold and kept PHEX copy and swapped some EHEX for Pulse. Holding strong, but F me. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're all like that, though. I'm not going to pretend I sold at the top. I sold at the 15 cents and I was buying it back under sub 1 penny. I knew that there were like after the announcement, I knew it was only going to go like, no, we're all down. We're all down. Either you're down or you're lying. Or you're lucky. It's a choice of three. And the people that are lucky, it's that sort of activity that inevitably gets them wrecked. The people that buy and hold always win. Again, when it comes to good assets, people that buy and hold always beat the market timers. But there's three people. There's people that are wrecked. There are people that say they're up but are lying, and then there are people that get lucky. And I'm part of the wreck crowd, and everyone is. So don't be hard on yourself. I think it's good. I think it's good that you exerted discipline and you refrained from the destructive behavior of trading, in my opinion. not financial advice. Do your own research. Franklin says Sami uses the AI well. Can we get some sevens in the chat? Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're really, if you ask Crypto 7, there is no community ahead of the curve when it comes to AI more than Hex and Pulsechain, as displayed by your friend Sami, okay? Leo Musselman says, appreciate you being here every single day to deliver. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate you listening. All right, yeah, we've been streaming for 50 minutes. So that's it for today's stream. Hope to see you guys in this week's Patreon meeting at 12 p.m. Eastern. Get in the Patreon, become a patron to join the meeting. But if not, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're subscribed, turn on the bell notification. I'll be back tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Have a great rest of your day.